Hi, everybody. My name is John Smith, and I'd like to introduce Reiko Okamoto, who's talking about bringing analysts and technical writers together through internal packages. Reiko?
Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Reiko Okamoto, and I'm a data analyst with the Office of the Provincial Health Officer at the BC Ministry of Health. As part of the Population Health Surveillance and Epidemiology Unit, we're responsible for monitoring trends in population health and health inequities in the province. At work, I use R to do several things, one of which is to create internal packages, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So there are definitely differences between building a package for yourself and creating one for your team. First, the tool should be beneficial to everyone, not just yourself. So you want to make sure that you are lining up the priorities of different people involved. Second, the functions might already exist in some form or another. So for example, code snippets that could be turned into functions might already exist somewhere on your team shared drive. Or maybe you're just trying to shift from one programming language to another. So you might be trying to convert a SAS macro into an R function, for example. Third, not all end users are going to be involved in development. So not everyone is going to know the ins and outs of the package, so you need to be prepared to communicate uses to others. And fourth, end users might not have the same level of familiarity with R, so whatever learning resource you create, it should be made accessible to everyone on your team. So having a quick look on the internet, it looks like the package development workflow can be broken down into these steps. You have the planning phase, followed by designing, implementing, testing, deploying, maintaining, and it all falls back into the planning phase. So I am going to argue that in R, it's relatively easy to take care of these middle steps using popular tools like DevTools, TestNet, or Use This. But when it comes to the four issues that I brought up earlier, they more or less fall into the phases of package development, which are arguably discussed less often than their technical counterparts. So when it comes to the planning and knowledge dissemination, it might feel like there's no room to follow. So I'll discuss how our team dealt with these challenges during our internal package development process. So during the pre-coding phase, the developers, including myself, we asked our colleagues to fill out a questionnaire to identify the R tools that people were looking for. So for each proposed function, people would provide the description, inputs, outputs, data types, etc. And as a developer, having these responses in front of you, you can see at a glance exactly what your team is looking for. A file path and line numbers are particularly helpful if the code snippets exist somewhere on your team shared drive, so you don't have to go looking for it afterward. And having a frequency of the proposed function is useful to you as a developer when you're trying to prioritize which functions to develop first. And as a side note, at some point, it actually might make more sense for your team to develop more than one package if you feel that the functions on this wish list start to not thematically fit all together. So we're going to skip a couple of steps. So you now have a package. Now, how do you explain its uses to your colleagues? When it comes to empowering your team, I definitely think there's value in offering both active and passive learning options in the same way that as a student, you'll probably benefit from attending both lectures and having a slide deck that you can read after class. So vignettes are great reference material that people can read in their own time, have their own pace, depending on their level of comfort with R. And on the other hand, demos can provide opportunities for those not involved in package development to see how the package works in real life and to provide feedback and comments. So what were the results of our team incorporating these principles? So one of the packages that we developed through consultation was the Viz package. And unfortunately, the logo is still under development, but the Viz package contains wrapper functions for ggplot and OpenXL functions. So for example, it allows analysts to customize ggplots to meet the organization's style guide for healthcare utilization reports. So this means having set line widths, font sizes, color palettes, for example. And it also allows analysts to refactor frequently used variables like age groups or regional health authorities. And as the result of introducing this package, it's allowed analysts, including myself, to focus on identifying trends in the data to share with our technical writing team instead of spending time modifying the plots to get their look and feel right each time. So I hope that gave you some insight into developing packages for your organization. And please feel free to reach out to me if you have any further questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Reiko.